A while ago I made a video about how useful nose cones are. With version 0.22 the nose cones got a little tweaking. Let's have a look. To aerodynamics the nose cones didn't much, but all three rockets reach about the same altitude. They are lower than before but closer together, and they don't tumble after flame out. The small rockets do the same. They are a little lower, but closer together. This ultimate airflow test, which you might know from the last nose cone test, shows that there's still no simulated airflow. The changelog said nose cones now actually help with improving stability during atmospheric flight. Nothing about aerodynamics and airflow. So here are again the same rockets, additionally with a decoupler to get the rocket off course. And here is what the nose cones can do. This is a direct comparison between 0.22 and the previous version. And you will see this several times with different nose cones. All these rockets have a non-gimbal engine, which means they can only steer against the decoupler's weight using the torque from the parts. You can see that without a nose cone, the probe body can't countersteer, and after a short time the rocket slams into the ground. With nose cone, on the other hand, the rocket don't or just barely goes off course. Having a direct comparison between version 0.21 and 0.22, it's very clearly. I would assume that the nose cones provide a little bit of torque, and therefore the probe body can control against the decoupler's weight, in a similar way SAS modules do. If they work in vacuum, I don't know, but I think the torque is only available in a minimum of air pressure. The big question is it worth taking nose cones into space or even onto the surface of Duna, or do we get more torque by using SAS modules? When sending a lander to another planet, there's usually a SAS module somewhere on the lander, and most of the later rocket engines all have gimbal nozzles. And usually these gimbal engines are enough during ascent to control the rocket's attitude. The stage, which brings you to the moon or to Duna, is way smaller than your ascent stage. And mostly there's enough time to align the vessel using only a little amount of torque. And they are quite good balanced. You won't have any huge fuel tanks sticking out of symmetry. It's okay keeping that habit and still using nose cones in the final stages of the career mode. Nose cones can't replace a powerful SAS module, but they can support it. A question from the comments of the last video was if fins make a difference. Yes, they do. But for this comparatively heavy decoupler, you need some with control surfaces. Otherwise, the rocket does a nice ballet in your front yard. My conclusion is, in this game state, nose cones aren't for getting better through air, but they help with steering and keep pointing the rocket up. Because they are quite early available in the career mode, they are useful controlling the rockets, which go larger and larger. But in case they are only useful in a minimum of air pressure, they are useless weight on the final lander, and it's better to take an SAS module instead. And of course, nose cones look cool, and what looks cool has to be put on a rocket. I'm sure in future updates there will be more improvements for the nose cones. So keep on watching and happy launches!